Ben Danoon, and you are watching Israeli News Live. Question comes up today as we wonder about President Barack Obama. Is he really for Israel, or is he Israel's enemy? Well, that seems to be quite clear the more as we see things coming unraveled in different news outlets around the world. In fact, it comes to our own attention here as we know that there are Iranian troops that are being spotted in Lebanon on Israel's northern border, that indeed Obama, working with Iran, is only looking for another way to force his failed peace process plan that he tried to do with John Kerry. And seeing as it did not work out through the plan that he hoped his 9-month negotiations with John Kerry with Israel and the Palestinians to make a two-state solution, he now has the egg on his own face and wants to save face by forcing Israel's hand in a roundabout way. In the Iranian Project, which is the Iranian official news website there, it is stated here in an article called Cuba and Iran. This article here was written by the Iranians. It says here, aside from neoconservatives such as Elliot Abrams and hawks like Lindsey Graham and John McCain, who predictably deplore the move and worried that Obama's move pretends U.S. surrender at the negotiation table, the Wilson Center's Aaron David Miller was one of the first to do a more thoughtful analysis what it might mean for Iran's policy. In his post entitled After Cuba Comes Iran, Miller argued that despite the key differences between the two countries, Obama's decision to normalize ties with Havana should be a clear sign of where he might like to go with Iran on the nuclear issue in coming months. They quoted one other source as well, and that was the Atlantic Council's Iran expert Barbara Slavin, and she argues here, for those in the Iranian government who are pushing for a long-term nuclear deal with Washington, seeing Obama use his presidential authority to relieve the embargo against Cuba despite the vocal objection of some in Congress should increase confidence that he can waive key nuclear-related sanctions against Iran in similar fashion. As I said, it's only clear evidence that the Obama administration, in particular President Obama, since he's the one prancing around his power in D.C., has and does have the ability to do whatever it takes to undermine any type of relationship that the West may have with Israel. In fact, he is fulfilling his own biblical destiny. All nations will turn against Israel. Also on the Facebook page of the Iranian Facebook page, and also in Arutz Shiva's Israel's news, there has been a photo published which we're sharing with you as well. That was on the on the Iranian official military website, showing they have whited out the faces, but on the actual website of the Iranians, their faces are not blotted out. Some of Iranians' military, more than likely advisors on the Lebanon border with Israel, and they're touting that Israel should be fearful, for we are now gaining a closer stronghold in which to destroy our enemies. It says here in the article by Arutz Shiva, says preliminary information suggests that the pictures were taken in October but were released only recently along with verbal threats against Israel. Several photographs published contain the caption, "We have arrived to the cursed Israel." The Twitter account linked to the Revolutionary Guards upload a number of the pictures on Thursday with the headline, "The Islamic Republic soldiers are on the border of occupied Palestine." At any rate, though, it is a clear indication that there is only war brewing in the near future. In one place on the Iranian Facebook page, people were commenting on there that Israel need to be afraid. Well, Israel will not be fearful. But nonetheless, even if they do become fearful, it'll be the God of Israel that Iran will deal with in the end. as well. Also, in other news in Israel, on Friday we had two of the Israeli security officers were attacked by an Arab man coming from the Temple Mount from their Muslim prayers. He was wielding a knife, attacked both the officers. Oddly enough, the officers did not try to return fire. They did try to defend themselves. One was stabbed in his neck, the other one in his hand, defending himself. Where, of course, you can see in the background here the video of that particular attack that was caught. The video footage was actually released by Ari King, who released that from the Jerusalem Council, who posted the video on his Facebook page on Friday. He blamed the Internal Security Minister Yitzhak Aronovich for the collapse of security in the capital and orders of security officers to avoid fire on Arab attackers. He says here, ask yourselves what stopped the Border Patrol officers from shooting with their personal weapons against the terrorists, and who educated them not to shoot when they're trying to when they tried to murder them. This is what King posted on his Facebook page there. Very, very much of a concern in Israel, as the soldiers there are being told to show a lot of restraint when dealing with Arab riders and attackers. Only another case to where something must change in the Israeli government if we ever expect to see any kind of peace. And of course, if someone like Tzipi Livni comes into power there, then you can count on even more of such attacks taking place. Israel would be completely overrun by the Arab world, without a doubt. I'm Stephen Ben Danoon with Israeli News Live.